Welcome to our webinar, What to Expect at Family Weekend. We're excited to have you with us today. My name is Christine Self with Parent and Family Relations. Joining me today are Debbie Guerra from the Texas Tech Parents Association and Brianna Valdivia with Parent and Family Relations. This webinar is part of our Red Raider Family webinar series, where we share information on topics of interest to parents, families, and supporters of our students. We hope this webinar will help you know what to expect when you attend Family Weekend this year. We plan to keep this webinar to about 30 minutes or so. All right, so on your screen, you can see what we plan to cover today. If there's time at the end, we will open it up for questions using the Zoom Q&A feature. In case we don't have time to answer the questions at the end, please add your questions throughout this presentation. We will follow up via email with a summary of all the questions and answers that were submitted. You will also see a number of websites and resources mentioned throughout the presentation, and you may see some QR codes. We will share a few of these links in the chat, but our follow-up email will contain all of the websites and resources shared, so don't worry if you aren't able to access the QR codes or links during the webinar. We are recording this session and posting it to our website so that you'll be able to review it again later or share with others. The link to the page where you can access the recording link and the slides will also be included in your follow-up email. So let's begin. I'm going to start by turning it over to Brianna to talk about the Family Weekend schedule and how to find events for you and your family to enjoy.
All right, we've got a very full schedule this year for Family Weekend. We're very excited to be able to present these different events to you all. Now, you don't have to attend every single one. Some that I would recommend that you do take into consideration about going is if your student's college is hosting an event, for example, Architecture, College of Education, they're hosting events as well as Davis and a few others. So if that's the college that your student's with, we very much encourage you to go check out their events. There are also other events happening that are free and a couple that are ticketed as well. So the Haunted House, Haunted Campus Tour is a ticketed event that's hosted by one of our student orgs, but there are lots of other free events that you can check out as well throughout the day. And if you're not looking for something at a specific time, please feel free to utilize one of the options such as exploring the museum, the Southwest Collection, stopping by the Rec Center, or the Ranching Heritage Center on Friday. These are a couple more of those events that I mentioned, and then a few of the colleges as well. There are also things that you can do. There's an event called International Songs if you're looking for more of a performance to kind of sit down with your family. Saturday is game day, of course. We have not found the time to be released yet, but there are lots of tailgates that are all planning on starting 2 hours before the game. So right now, those times kind of say all day, but just for y'all's reference, all the tailgates start 2 hours before kickoff. There are lots of things for you to stop by and visit. There are a couple of colleges hosting their own tailgates, as well as just different groups. So if that's something you'd like to check out. Also, if that's not kind of something that you're interested in doing, there is a relaxation station at the library. They'll have therapy dogs, activities, and then refreshments and snacks. That's also another option. And then finally, Sunday, you can do all those things that I mentioned at your own pace, such as exploring the National Ranching Heritage Center. There is a women's soccer game against Kansas State if you're planning on staying all of Sunday. And then if you have not already, our Red Raider Family Brunch that we'll talk a little bit more about in this webinar. We still do have a couple tickets available. Tickets are required for this event. So if that's something you're interested in doing, I would encourage that you go kind of get those already.
All right, well, thank you, Brianna. Once again, we'll send you the link to the Family Weekend page that has all these events on it. There's something for everyone. Spend some time ahead of your visit to pick and choose the things that you and your family want to do. As Brianna mentioned, there are many things that are absolutely free of charge, others that require tickets. And then we're going to turn it over now to Debbie, who's going to talk specifically about all the great things that you can do with the Texas Tech Parents Association during Family Weekend.
Welcome. I am Debbie Guerra with the Texas Tech Parents Association, and I'm going to briefly touch on all the things that Texas Tech Parents Association hosts over this fabulous weekend. And we have a busy lineup, and all of it is also listed on the calendar that Brianna mentioned, so you can see how you can fit these things into your schedule too. Friday night is big. We have a family dinner that is hosted in the sub. Tickets are required. Tickets are still on sale. And on the next slide, there'll be a QR code that'll take you to our website where you can buy tickets for this dinner up until this evening. Um, and we will have a dinner buffet with a pick a prize raffle, which is a lot of fun. Family fun night is also in the sub while we're having the family dinner. And then there's also the housing fair that we help host with the Daily Torador. This is a great way for you to come and see what the options are for your students to live off of campus next year. It's free. There will be representatives from many housing and apartment complexes. Be sure you stop by and just pick up the information. And it's just a great way to start getting information if your student's going to live off campus next year. Dinner, and like it says, dinner starts at 5:30. It runs till 8 p.m. And then you have family fun night out in the lobby and the housing fair all at the same time. And then our big one is our big tailgate on Saturday. Um, and it is the biggest tailgate, I think, on campus. We take up the entire east side of Raider Alley in front of the engineering buildings. And we also do a first responders appreciation meal prior to our tailgate. Our tailgate opens with Raider Alley, which is actually 4 hours prior to kickoff. And there are tickets still available, and the link is open till this evening. And you can purchase tickets, and you will also be able to buy a parking pass on our link. Just make sure you realize the parking pass you purchase is for C16 or R30 lots, which those are Commuter West and are out by the United Supermarket Market Arena. You can take the city bus to get to Raider Alley, but please be aware that the city bus only runs 3 hours prior to game time. So you could do a little walking if you wanted to get there 4 hours and enjoy everything that's going on Raider Alley. Your ticket to tailgate includes unlimited non-alcoholic beverages. It includes the meal, depending upon the game time, if that will be breakfast or lunch. There's games, there's prizes, and it's just a fabulous way to see everything Texas Tech going on Raider Alley. That's really one of the places to be before the game starts. And then the next slide is just information about TTPA, its benefits and discounts. If you're new to not understanding or knowing what TTPA is about, you can take that QR code and it will take you straight to our website and give you some information about our great Road Raider Safe Travel Network, our ambassador program, different things that we do in your local communities, and all the discounts that we have available for you as members. And we are really excited to see everybody at Family Weekend. Like I said, our tailgate is typically one of the biggest on campus, and we will have around 1,500 people at that tailgate. So it's lots of fun, and it's a great way to see lots of other Red Raider families.
All right, thank you, Debbie. Now, Brianna is going to talk about a couple of specific events that our office is hosting, starting with the block party at Drain Hall. So, Brianna, tell us all about the block party, what people can expect, and how they can register for it.
Yes, so this will be our second year hosting our Red Raider Family Block Party at Drain Hall. Very proud of this event because one, it is free for families and their students to come and not get a lot of information, but instead just relax and enjoy the weekend, have fun, see their student. This does take place outside of Drain Hall as well as inside of Drain Hall. So there's going to be lots of resources that are hosting activities like lawn games. They're giving out t-shirts and all sorts of things from their department. Freebies is one of the things they're giving out. The Mass Rider and Raider Red will be there. So it's just a great opportunity for you to come and go as you like while you're here for Family Weekend. You do not have to stay the full time. If you can switch slides, Christine. You do not have to stay the full time. The event is from 4 to 6. So if you'd like to come at the beginning and then head off and go see some of those other events that are on the schedule for Friday, you're very much encouraged. It's outdoors, so you can kind of walk around and pick and choose what you'd like to do. We do encourage that you register for the event on Red Raider Family Network. This is so that you can avoid having to register once you get there. And it's a separate line, so it's just a lot smoother. Additionally, if you register prior to the event, you will receive information on the parking lot R11 and R13, which is free for you to park at. And then you'll get this email a few days before the event. Parking is first come, first serve, so registration doesn't guarantee a parking spot. Those spaces are limited. So, but like I said, it's come and go, and families are getting there and they're leaving and heading off to a different side of campus. So,
All right.
and then our other event that we've got going on is taking place on Sunday, October 26th. So this is what I mentioned earlier. We do have limited tickets available. I believe we've got somewhere around 30 tickets left. And once we're sold out, we cannot open up for any more tickets just due to the space that we have. These tickets can be purchased through the Red Raider Family Network. And the event is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And as well as parking for that day specifically, you can just refer to weekend parking information, which means that you can park at any lot. And so just pick the closest one to the sub. This will take place in the Student Union building in the ballroom.
All right. Well, thank you, Brianna. We hope that you will take advantage of these wonderful events. I got to tell you that brunch, if you are even thinking about it, get on it because the tickets are only $10.50 a person to have a wonderful brunch meal with, I think there's chicken and waffles and traditional breakfast foods, all kinds of really great things. So we would love to see you there. All right, so now we're going to switch gears. That was some specific information about Parents Association events, some of the things that we're hosting, how to look at the schedule and pick things to do for the weekend. But now I want to share some general information, probably that you're all wondering about, starting with parking. So general parking tips, this is for other than the football game. So maybe you're coming in on Friday early, or maybe you're even coming in on Thursday, or this would also apply to Sunday. Okay, so this is general parking tips. So one thing we recommend, if your student has a car and lives on campus and you want to go visit their residence hall, or maybe come by family weekend check-in and pick up your t-shirts and things from the Parents Association, or come to the block party or any of the Friday afternoon events, we recommend that you have your student pick you up. That way they can park their car in the residence hall and you don't have to worry about finding parking. So if your student is living on campus and has their car here, they can be your Uber that day. That's what we would recommend. If you are taking Uber or Lyft to campus on, say, Friday afternoon, or if you want to come for, the block party or some of the evening events on Friday and you need to be dropped off by Lyft or Uber, we recommend that you ask to be dropped off at the Texas Tech Library. That's because that's an easy place for Lyft and Uber to find, and it's pretty centrally located. It's very close to the Student Union building. For example, it's not very far from Drain Hall if you want to go to that block party. So that's just a really good general location to be dropped off at. Also, if it's during the day, it's not behind one of the pay state or the entry stations, and the Lyft or Uber driver can freely drive there. So as you may know, Texas Tech's a closed campus. You can't just drive on campus if you don't have a permit to be on campus. So that's an important tip. Once you arrive at any visitor lots, which I'll show you what those look like here in a moment, there are park and pay stations. Like Brianna mentioned, if you are coming to the block party and you register for the block party, we are going to send you a link so that you can park for free at a couple of these lots, and I'll show you where those are. But if you don't have that link, you can still park in the visitor park and pay. And we've got instructions there on the screen. There are little machines that you will go up to. You can enter your not your driver's license, your license plate, and make payment to park there. Again, in our follow-up email, we'll send you the link to these instructions so you know exactly how to do it and how to be prepared when you get here. And then here's an image. This comes directly from Transportation and Parking's website. Again, we're going to send you the link. but this can show you where some of these park and pay visitor places are. So you can see these blue lots that are, near the Student Union building. I don't know if you can see my cursor on your screen, but that is a lot that we will have registered. You will have the link to if you come to the block party. There's also a little visitor lot right up here. If you have the link, you can park there during that time from 4 to 6. Otherwise, you can use the park and pay stations there. There's another blue lot near the library. Again, just watch your signage, make sure it's visitor parking. And then there's the Flint parking garage, which is a short walk down 18th Street to get to the sub. Those are probably your best bets. So the lots that you see that are in red, if it's after 5:30 p.m., you can park there as well. Those become park and pay lots after 5:30. Before 5:30, that's faculty staff parking, and you would not be able to park in those red lots. And then the yellow lots, if you see any of those are going to be reserved parking for faculty and staff until 11 p.m. So no parking in those. So again, we'll send you the link to this. So this is again for kind of general parking. This would happen on Friday. On Sunday, a lot of these are not going to be monitored. You can park in a lot more spaces on Sunday because it's not a weekday, right? And so make sure that you just again watch your signage. Now, game day parking, of course, is completely different. So here is a map of the game day parking. So, and Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong, but you mentioned that if someone paid for a parking pass from Texas Tech Parents Association, you would be parked in the USA Auto Parking down here by the United Supermarkets Arena. Is that correct? I can't hear Debbie, but I believe you'll be parked down here by the United Supermarkets Arena if you purchased your parking passes from Parents
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, C16 and R30, which is the commuter west and out by United Supermarket Arenas, and where your pass is indicated on the pass when you pick it up.
Perfect.
And I've had lots of questions about how they get those parking passes. And in the chat, I am going to list the registration pickup.
Perfect. All right. So that's if you've purchased those tickets from Parents Association, that's where you'll be parked. You can also, if you have not purchased them, and you can purchase them directly from athletics. We'll send you the link on how you can do that. You'll also notice these green lots up here. Those are free. You don't even have to pay for those. So know that that's available as well. And I'll show you how you're going to get from these parking lots to the stadium here in just a moment. So the green lots are free. The blue lot and the yellow lot you pay for. And then, again, there's shuttle service from all these lots to the stadium. So we'll send you the link if you need to purchase these from athletics, or you can certainly purchase them from Texas Tech Parents Association, but that's going to be limited because Debbie, your sales end tonight, right?
That is correct.
Correct. Okay. So consider that. But then again, know that you have that free fan parking too. If you are, really wanting to keep to your budget, there's free parking available for you. And then more information on the shuttle service. So for any of these lots that we just mentioned, whether you're parking with Parents Association down here by the United Supermarkets Arena, you're taking advantage of the free fan parking up here on 4th Street, or the satellite parking, City Bus will do a route from those parking lots to the game. Like Debbie mentioned a little bit earlier, the service for this bus service starts 3 hours before kickoff. Okay, some of their tailgate begins 4 hours. So if you want to go to every minute of that tailgate, you might want to hoof it, but you can certainly get there within that 3-hour mark. The other thing to note is to take advantage of the service, you'll need to download the GoPass app. And it costs $6 per person to ride the bus. I believe children under 5 are free. So you just download this app. Again, we're going to send you the link so that you can find it easily. And that's how you will get from your parking to the stadium. Now, if you look on this map up here, this yellow dot, that is where they're going to let you out if you go to the stadium. You can also choose to go to Raider Alley. And that's going to be over here by Memorial Circle and by Raider Alley and by where the Texas Tech Parents Association tailgate is. Now, if you get dropped off at Raider Alley, you are not going to be picked back up at Raider Alley to go back to your car. That's going to happen at the stadium. And so next I'm going to shift to the return route. So the return route, again, will pick up at the north end of Jones AT&T Stadium, and it will drop off at the USA lot. It will drop off at the satellite lot, and it will drop off at the free parking over by HSC. So that's kind of what that looks like. Now, there is ADA parking available on the, I'm going to go back 2 slides just to remind everyone. This blue lot right here is ADA parking. It has its own shuttle that will take you to and from the stadium in the same drop-off point. So just know that there is the ADA lot as well. All right, I know that was a lot of information about parking. Parking can certainly be confusing, so please let us know if you have questions. When you come to Family Weekend check-in, Parent and Family Relations table, we'll have a table at check-in that we can help answer these questions for you. We'll have some of these maps available and we can talk it through with you.
And I just put the times of the registration on Thursday and Friday in the chat for everyone.
Perfect. All right, some other things to note about attending a game at Jones AT&T Stadium if this is your first time to attend. There is a clear bag policy, and you can see there's some images of what the clear bags should look like and how big they should be. No outside food or beverages are allowed in the stadium. It is a cashless venue, so you will need a card to pay for concessions. They do have lots of different concessions, food items, beverages, etc. available. And there are water refilling stations. So if you go in and you purchase a bottle of water, you can there are some real refilling stations around the stadium. Know that your tickets are going to come to you that you will download to your phone. Texas Tech uses mobile ticket scanning. They do not accept screenshots. So do not try to send a screenshot to someone in your family to get into the game. They will need the ticket. You can transfer the ticket to someone. There is a process for that. Again, we're going to send you the link to these instructions. So know that. One thing I would definitely recommend is download your tickets before you go to the stadium. Download them the day before, download them some other time, because with 60 some odd thousand people, especially depending on what phone service you have, it may be difficult to download these tickets while you're over there at the stadium. Once you enter the stadium with your ticket, there's no re-entry. So be prepared for that. Tickets are required for any guest 2 and older. Now, the tickets to the game have been sold out for quite some time, so you're probably already aware of that. There are, however, resale tickets available through SeatGeek. We'll send you the link to that as well if you're needing to purchase tickets. We recommend using that site to purchase tickets because they directly partner with Texas Tech. Obviously, use caution if you're buying tickets through any other venue. We'd hate for someone to sell you tickets that are bogus, right? So make sure that you're careful if you're purchasing tickets from anywhere other than SeatGeek. All right, we know that that was a lot of information, and we do still have a few minutes. We've got about 5 minutes to take whatever questions that you may have. So keep those coming in the Q&A. And I know that some of you submitted questions before attending, and we may have some that we haven't covered yet. So one question that I am seeing in the chat here is, will students be able to attend events with their families? So I'm going to ask Debbie to talk about TTPA here in a moment, but for all of the free events that are on campus that are on that Family Weekend schedule, absolutely, students can attend those. For some of the ticketed events though, everyone will need a ticket. Now, the game is a little bit of an exception, right? Students get into the game with their student ID. They won't be sitting with you though, right? They'll be sitting in the student section. It's also important to note that these games are very well attended, and students will probably need to get in line if they're using their student ID to get in pretty early. So just be prepared for that. But yes, students absolutely attend with their families. And Debbie, did you have anything to add to that with concerning TTPA events?
Yeah, all of our ticketed events, there is a requirement for your students to purchase tickets because food is involved with each ticket that you buy for the tailgate. And that was the other thing I was going to say. If your student is getting into the game for free, since it's sold out, they'll need to go a couple of hours before. I believe they open the gates to the stadium or the student gates 2 hours prior.
That's correct.
But if you've purchased a ticket for your students to sit with you, there's no need for them to go through the student gate. But as far as the Friday night dinner and the tailgate, your students will need a ticket also for that.
Wonderful. Any other questions that anyone would like to ask?
There's been a question about the family weekend t-shirt. There is a family weekend t-shirt that was for sale on our site and was included in a lot of the packages. There are no more t-shirts online to purchase when you go to purchase a dinner ticket or a tailgate ticket, but there will be some additional t-shirts for sale on Thursday and Friday at registration. They do go quickly. So I would say if you wanted to get a family weekend t-shirt, I would get there on Thursday to do that.
I'm seeing another question here about tailgating. So, are we allowed to take a tent and table and chairs to the tailgate?
I can't really speak for all open tailgating, but for the TTPA tailgate, you're welcome to bring your chairs, your own chairs. You have no place to leave them if you're going to go to the game. And depending upon where you're parked, you might be able to take them back to your car if you're going to the game. But as far as tables and tents, the TTPA tailgate doesn't really have room for additional tables and tents. We do have close to 700 chairs along with tables to sit at our tailgate space. But you're more than welcome to bring your own stadium seats to our tailgate.
And tailgating, if you have never been to Texas Tech for tailgating, it can be a little bit overwhelming. Like there are so many options, there are so many things going on. Raider Alley, for example, is right next to where the Parents Association tailgate will be. If you go through there, you don't have to pay anything. It's just free to walk through. There's going to be entertainment. There'll be live music. There will be food trucks and places where you can purchase food, but it's not really a space where you bring your own, grills and food and tents and things like that. There is tailgating like that at Texas Tech. You'll see it out in the lots right next to the stadium. Those tailgating spaces are operated by the Red Raider Club. People pay to do that kind of tailgating where they bring all of their stuff. And, Brianna, do you want to talk about the map that we're going to have for everybody?
Yes, so for the entire weekend, we are planning on having a Google map that you'll be able to access through our website. Additionally, it'll also be on flyers outside of or at check-in of a lot of the events that you're seeing on the schedule. It's a Google map that has pinpoints where every single event is happening. So that's kind of a helpful way to be able to click what you're looking for and then have it give you directions on how to get there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be helpful for you too. We don't have it ready right now because there's still events being added, right? And so we will have a very complete map that will be available electronically that you can access on Google to find different things. You'll see all the different tailgating locations. But again, going back to, what a tailgate is at Texas Tech, it really just depends on what part of the campus that you're on. We are just about out of time. But please do keep typing your questions in. We are going to stay behind and continue to type answers to those. We are again going to follow up with an email later on this afternoon with a link to these slides, the recording, a summary of all the questions and answers so that you can get the information that you need to get ready for Family Weekend. And then you can see our email on your screen, both from Parent and Family Relations and the Texas Tech Parents Association. If you have any questions about Family Weekend, please do reach out to us. We will get those questions answered for you. And then we'd also love to hear from you, how we did today. What did you think about the webinar? Did we get your questions, answers? What you expected? Just a very brief survey that we would love to get your feedback on. So thank you very much for spending this brief time together with us to talk about Family Weekend. We are very excited to have all of you come join us out here in Lubbock and on campus. We think it's going to be a great opportunity for you to see Texas Tech, outside of the orientation experience where, everything's happening, the, football game and all the excitement that surrounds being on a big college campus during the fall semester. So we can't wait. So thank you, Debbie, for joining us. And thank you, Brianna, for sharing about the events. And we will see you in a couple of weeks.
We're super excited to see all these families on campus. It is probably one of my favorite weekends of the whole year.
All right, keep those questions coming. We're going to keep answering them for a few moments and have a great rest of your day.